Ladies and gentlemen, from the New York Times, the Pentagon will be sending more U.S. troops to the Middle East as tensions rise. This is it. World War III, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what's happening. There's no other explanation. With the sending of more U.S. troops, it means the end is nigh. And they say the troops will number in the dozens. Oh, that actually doesn't sound that bad, actually. Not that I'm a fan of these deployments or anything like that. But, you know, a lot of people are coming out and they're saying it's apocalyptic. They think it's going to signal World War III or whatever. But it looks like the number will be in the dozens, which kind of sounds like 48 maybe.
But it's to protect the thousands of Americans who are stationed there. Stationed implies what? Diplomatic or military posting?
No, military.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just saying,
they
like,
be
it's
sent
not
to the Mediterranean?
It's not like 10,000 people or whatever, right? So, however, it is interesting because they are likening this or relating it to the Israeli airstrikes against Hezbollah that killed at least 350 people in Lebanon, Defense Department officials said on Monday. Major General Patrick S. Ryder, the Pentagon press secretary, declined to say exactly how many troops are deploying, citing operational security. In light of increased tension in the Middle East and out of an abundance of caution, we are sending a small number of additional U.S. military personnel forward to augment our forces that are already in the region. I think we have, 40,000 in the region or some massive number?
We're seeing more of them arrive now. This is in part due to the escalation and what I think we could call officially a war with Israel and Hezbollah. Since October 7th, Israel and Hezbollah have been engaging in low-level warfare, shooting rockets across the border. Northern Israel was forced to evacuate something like close to 100,000 people. Southern Lebanon was forced to evacuate something like 50,000 people. And we've been seeing the intensity of this conflict kind of rise with the walkie-talkie and pager attacks.
That was a 15-year operation, they said. Did you hear that?
It's amazing.
They set up a shell company, a fake company out of Hungary to manufacture pagers. The whole thing was done over 15 years. That's crazy, dude.
The Jews are really trying to win back some prestige after their major failures on October 7th. But then following that attack, we've seen some of the Hezbollah generals get killed. So Israel cannot allow Hezbollah to exist on its border, which is why they're taking these moves. And I think this is some posturing by the United States to prevent a wider outbreak.
Isn't Hezbollah the official military of Lebanon?
So they're part of the government. They're like a faction of the government. Lebanon is like ruled by multiple factions.
Right. Tribal.
So there's the Hezbollah is like the Shia faction. There are Sunnis. There's other different ethnic groups in the region. But I really think this is one part of the chessboard in the larger chessboard. We're seeing things escalate in Ukraine. We're seeing things escalate in Israel. God forbid we're going to see things escalate in the Taiwan Strait. And this is all due to Joe Biden's weakness at the top of the American government.
Bro, did you see the cabinet meeting with Jill?
It's outrageous.
First one in 11 months. Here we go.
And he says, "Take it away, kid." But listen to him speak. He's just like, like he's gone. He is gone.
He's not running the country.
No,
Well,
and he's probably not for a while now. He's been on. So New York Post had a story. He's taken 48 years worth of vacations in 4. I don't think he's ever been doing anything. He's been just screwing off.
Well, when you're about to retire, you have to use up those vacation days.
That's right. That's right.
The Biden administration is completely in sort of senioritis legacy building mode. And so he'll posture on Israel and Palestine right now saying like, oh, I'm really going to he doesn't say it. One of his spokespeople says we're really going to get serious about a ceasefire. We're not going to let them do whatever. But then obviously, to your point, things are escalating. I don't think that he has any actual influence over any kind of ceasefire or peace talks, which puts Kamala Harris in a very weird position, right? Because the best thing she could do to win supporters right now is to promise that she would guarantee a ceasefire, which she absolutely cannot do because she's inheriting the Biden administration, which is terrible legacy, and also because she's not a good negotiator herself. That's my editorial opinion. Do you think that there is a path forward before the election, or do you think it's going to be a rise in tension, especially in the Middle East, until America knows who's next leader?
I think some of our allies fear that we'll pull the rug out from under them if Kamala Harris is elected. We should be applauding Israel for their attacks against Hezbollah. I feel like people forgot that Hezbollah was responsible for the death of hundreds of American servicemen when our embassy was bombed in Lebanon, among other terrorist attacks. So, Israel is really really fulfilling. I think we had a $7 million bounty on a couple of people that Israel killed, who again were responsible for the death of American service people. We should be applauding our allies for fighting back. We should be applauding Ukraine.
But you think it'll be bolder and bolder action until Trump is potentially elected?
I think Israel and Ukraine think they'll have more support from Joe Biden and then Donald Trump than they would be getting under Kamala Harris administration.
That's interesting.
Especially the case for Israel. I think that Kamala Harris would try to leverage like weapons rearmaments.
I would think
Israel.
she would be more supportive of Ukraine than a Trump administration.
I think Trump is secretly relatively pro-Ukraine. I think he was glad to arm Ukraine prior to the invasion. So I think you could really project what you want to see from Trump
her
onto him.
language has been more consistent. Like, we must support Ukraine. I've met with Zelensky. He's the best. Whereas Trump is like, I am prepared to end the wars. I want to end them.